And we're live. We have one viewer. Who's in the house? Who's sitting here waiting?
We're calling you out.
I want to know.
In a good way, we're calling you.
Yeah, calling you out. Who's here? Who's here?
Now I am.
Still only showing one. Well, it's not really even showing the video. So, can you see the video of us?
Yep.
Are you? Yeah. All right. Cool. How's everybody doing? Well, how's that one person doing? I have a feeling we're going to be waiting a few extra minutes while other people catch up. I forgot to send out the
little prompt.
Yeah, the prompt, like, going live in like half an hour or so. 1 second.
I gave it a like. Hopefully that helps. There we go. We got 2 likes.
Okay, give me a second. Entertain everybody. I'll be...
Entertain everybody.
Yeah.
Should I tap dance? What should I...
Juggle if you could. I'm gonna just make sure I'm plugged in and it's not on.
I'll juggle. I'll find some 57s. Juggle.
Do it. Oh, 57 juggling. I hear it sounds better than SM7B juggle.
Yeah, and definitely better than U87 juggling. I don't even do that. It's like the new thing. Instead of baton twirling, it's U87 twirling. But yeah, we're just trying to figure out, everybody, what Aiden's having some issues on his end with the connection, so we're just figuring it out. Richard Sarkeesian! I'm assuming Sarkeesian. G'day! Beresford, what's happening? What is happening? Yeah, we're a little late on the take this week, folks. You didn't send out the prompt, so we're just kind of waiting on some people to show it.
I'm coming!
Yeah, he's coming.
There we are. You talk about how your supper went last Friday? Which supper? Which
because I said, remember? Yeah.
Did you mention what you were doing last Friday? I can't remember if you were.
I did say it was a date, and very awkwardly, my parents were on the stream, so that was awesome.
Oh.
And then because I didn't mention it to them because I keep it very low key, and then on Sunday they're like, "Yeah, what's going on Friday?" I'm like, "Oh shit." All right, fair enough.
Hi from Thailand, Steve Sarich, Thailand. What time is it in Thailand right now?
It is not 5 o'clock.
I can imagine it's not. I'd imagine it's getting close to bedtime there.
Liberty dude!
Beresford, Nolswaith, DDA. I've been playing, I don't know why this just reminded me. I've been playing a lot of Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Huh.
One of my favorite streamers was playing it, and I kind of gave up on the game because it is hard when you're trying to learn how to fight with swords and shield, because it's very difficult.
Especially if you're not used to that format too. Not only is the game already pretty comprehensive. It makes it realistic as hell, but also if you're not used to purely melee style combat.
Yeah, it's ridiculously difficult and in depth. And
I kind of like that though. I mean, I kind of like that challenge.
Well, it's also a slow game. It's meant to basically stop and smell the roses, enjoying the crap out of it. Hey, we got 6 people in the room. What's up? Shrimp says, how's it going, y'all? Hey, Shrimp.
What up?
Steve says it's 4:09 in the morning. What are you doing awake, Steve?
Yeah, what? 4:09.
Are you capping your night off with this? Is this like the end of your day? I don't know if I'd want to start with us for the beginning of the day or the end of the day. Don't answer that. Liberty says issues with the tissues. All right, so I have a conundrum. Yeah. I'm doing the review on the P820, and I sent you this question, Dylan, that you just refused to answer.
What was the question?
Should I buy the P820?
I did answer it. I told you yes.
No. This I just asked a couple days ago.
Yeah, but that was when you were like, tell me that I shouldn't buy it. I said, you should buy it.
Or should I just get the MKH 416?
Ooh, 416.
Without a beat, it didn't even miss a beat, eh?
Yeah, 416, 100%.
I'm gonna get some people in chat to tell me which one they think I should do.
Both of them are good. I think the 416 for a variety of reasons. You're gonna get more mileage out of, both for your channel and as a voiceover guy.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. But here's my issue. I have a ton of microphones. Just now are we starting to dip into doing music, and we're dipping into doing music with microphones that don't cost $1,100. So when's the next time that I'm going to use the P820 for anything other than the review video and the odd voiceover?
PA20 also literally $1,100.
It's $1,100, dude.
It was like 800 when I remember about inflation.
Nope, it's definitely not.
But when I talk about it was 800, like I'm talking back to 2012 or 2011, it was $800. But again, most things were, inflation. Yeah.
By the way, Steve says, no, I'm up at 2 a.m. every morning to talk to friends in the U.S. That's sweet. It must be tough living around the world where your friends are.
I mean, at least now I know that Thailand's like pretty much almost 12 hours behind us. So
yeah, basically.
Or in front of us. Behind or in front.
In front. Steve says, also, I want to know if I should buy the beautiful USB Icon microphone. I have never used the Icon or anything from Earthworks. However...
It is Earthworks, so I'm assuming it's great.
Well, one, it's Earthworks. Two, I have yet to see a bad review about it. I haven't seen any negative press on anything Earthworks does. So if, like, I've watched all the reviews, because I've reached out to Earthworks to say, hey, slide me a couple for reviews, and they never got back to me, which is fine. That's fine. I'll buy them. But then you go to buy them and you see, oh my God, if I've got to buy 4 of these, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Liberty Dude says buy on sale in a killer deal or wait. Now, Liberty Dude, I'll give you the floor here in chat. Why? I think that's the big question. If you're going to be going for a USB Icon mic, USB Icon, if that's what you're going for, it's the best USB microphone on the market. Gear Junkie. Hello, mother fuzzers. Happy Fuzzy Friday. Fuzzy Friday. So once again, am I going to be using the P820 at any point in the near future to justify the money to buy it? I love the microphone. It's one of the favorite microphones I've put in front of my noise hole. Like, by a long shot, it's one of my favorites.
At least it's translatable. The problem with shotgun mics, like the MKH, although the MKH is like the granddaddy of all shotgun mics.
But I can put it to work tomorrow. If I got the 416, it would be in service the moment I got it.
Like voiceover stuff. You're not
voiceover.
Stuff.
Nothing for music, but for videos. There are certain videos that I want to start doing that I could really use a shotgun mic for.
Yep, that is their wheelhouse.
Yeah, right.
Like the wheelhouse of the shotgun.
Doing anything that's talking head video, like the video coming up on Monday. If I had a shotgun mic, this wouldn't be here, right? Mm-hmm. Like I wouldn't have the microphone in front of me. Also a secondary channel that requires a shotgun mic. I was going to use a P170, but it does thin out a bit at about 18 inches. Like it's quite thin at 18 inches.
Well, yeah, it's a pencil mic. It's not really designed for depth.
Well, no, you actually get relatively good depth within 12 inches with the P170. The problem
that's what she said.
Having the microphone where I need it, like up here, is more than 12 inches away from my mouth. So I need a little bit more. I need more than 12 inches, boys. That's what I'm going to say. Eden Knight, hey, which mic and interface should I go for with 300 euros? I thought about the PreSonus Revelator IO24 and the pod mic. What do you think about it for voice call and sub mixes?
That's about $400 Canadian.
Sub mixes? One, Revelator IO24 is great. It's a great streaming interface. If you're doing music mixing, it's going to be, most of it's useless to you. And if you're just doing voice calls, Revelator IO24, you're better off getting a Scarlett. Unless you plan on streaming and becoming a streamer and having multiple mixes and being able to play with those multiple mixes. I don't like the pod mic whatsoever. SM58 is by far and away a much better microphone. It's just not sexy. I would 110% get an SM58 over a pod mic any day.
I think we've made that case pretty well by now.
Yeah. Pod mic doesn't rank very highly when you put it up against other, like looking at the SEV7. A lot more versatile than a pod mic. Pod mics do not have any versatility. They give you kind of a thin sounding audio signal, and that's about it. So you can't really do much else with that. And it's also the SEV7 or the SM58 has a much higher resale value. If you ever decide, screw it, I'm out of audio. So that's usually what I say. Edenite, so yeah, I would go Scarlett, Solo 2i2 if you need it. and an SM58 or SCV7.
Yeah.
I think that answers it.
Responding to Daniel here.
Okay.
Godet. Yes, you can use shotgun mics in a music setting. I have. They're a last resort, though. You don't want to use that on a regular because the polar pattern gives you some very unnatural results with most instruments. The only time when I've used shotgun mics in a music setting preferentially is when miking an amp.
All right.
You can get some very solid results when miking an amp, but any acoustic instrument, because half of what you get from the instrument is the resonances coming from multiple directions. Shotguns are intentionally not very good at that. So in the case of a live show, use shotgun mics because you want rejection. But as far as like, are you going to get the best sound from the source from a shotgun mic? Not necessarily. The only reason we use them so much in film is because they're practical.
Well, they're practical and they do have great sound. Like the MK416 does.
But like if you compare...
The
MK416 is good because you're getting mostly resonances from one place.
Yes. I don't mean
guitars or pianos, for example, which you want information from many parts of the instrument at once.
Yeah.
Like when I mic up an acoustic piano, like a grand piano, or even an upright piano, in some cases, if it's a good sounding upright piano, I use omnidirectional mics.
Yep.
I use Earthworks mics because like I want a lot of stuff. I want stuff from the soundboard. I want stuff from the strings. I want stuff from the keys and the pedals. Like the damper.
Yeah, it's the experience of the instrument, not just the sound. If you need to get one specific note off a piano, a shotgun mic would be good.
Also, maybe just play one specific note in any mic. But yes, you can use shotgun mics for music. It's just most of the time they're not the most ideal choice.
Okay.
I would say that's an opinion.
So Liberty, you didn't fill us in on why you shouldn't buy the USB icon. Still waiting on that, buddy. I see SCV7 over pod mic easy. Most microphones over pod mic at that price point. Daniel, you okay? With surprisingly good of a Rode pod mic. Okay, SM58. That's it. I'll go for Shure stuff, which is rock solid. Big thanks. Yeah, Shure is. You can't go wrong with an SM58.
We don't want to seem like a Shure fan channel, but at this point,
it's not a Shure fan channel either, because it's like
we have criticized Shure.
I don't necessarily agree with the MV7s with their marketing stuff like that, but I'll be damned, they've released quality products. SM48's pretty trash. If you ask me, but
that one you gave me, that weird vintage one.
Yeah, the 515 SA.
Mind you, I'm going to assume that's just because it's old and it's dilapited.
Yeah.
So maybe back in the day it might have been a better product.
It has a lot of character. Like I think on a Vox amp, that'd probably kind of give you some cool results.
I like mics like that have like unique texture, even if it's because it's broken. Like this RE20 has some weird resonances in some areas because someone smoked into it for 20 years straight.
Daniel. Do we have a Behringer person that came to defend Behringer? Daniel, hello. I've been using the UMC 1820 and the ADA 8200. I know that a lot of people hate Behringer, but as a drummer, that combo is good. As a drummer too, I think I have only one mic. Behringer's got some decent products, man. They
do. A lot of what Behringer gets slack for is quality control, like a lot of those companies. Some of their products, like for example, the X32 is a phenomenal board. I mean, they had help from Midas, but ignoring that, it's a solid product.
But it's also, Behringer has good products and nobody takes that away from them. And I do get a lot of hate on that, why people hate Behringer, as if I'm standing there on a hill
as the only person.
Moses saying, this is why I hate Behringer. I was actually presenting why Behringer has a bit of a black mark in the industry by a lot of professionals. Yeah. You can't argue that. There's no argument for they have a black mark. I personally don't, from a microphone perspective, I don't like Behringer. I haven't tried a Behringer microphone that I would recommend over an SM58. That's your benchmark.
I would add also for analog boards, I don't like Behringer. Their Zen boards, not good.
Yeah, no, I've used their Q boards, the really, really, really cheap ones, and in a pinch, sure, but no. And that's just a personal opinion. My benchmark for microphones is an SM58. If it can beat an SM58, good on you. If it can't, what's the point? It's $100 microphone.
That's the minimum.
But yes, I will agree that their Behringer does have some fantastic products at fantastic values. Just none of them sit in the microphone sphere. Daniel, thanks for your content. I appreciate that, buddy. Liberty Dude, I prefer the Zoom ZDM1 over the Pod mic. Yeah, I would agree on that. When I used the ZDM1, I actually didn't officially review it. When they sent me the Zoom PodTrack P4, they sent me the Zoom ZDM1 microphone with it, and I guess they wanted me to review it, but I'm like, screw it, and I just hooked up the ZDM1 and did the review with it. Mm-hmm. I didn't review the actual mic, and when I went back to do all the processing for that video, I was like, damn, it's a microphone. It's not going to blow your socks off, but it definitely, it didn't have any real big problem areas. So, ZDM1 is definitely a decent buy. Radioactive Sound Studio. I don't think you've ever been here. It's official, by the way. Radioactive Sound Studio official. Hey guys, my go-to mic is Lawton Audio LA320 tube mic.
Lawton.
Man, I need to get some more Lawton. I got to get some more tube mics too. I'm hooked on tube mics now. Ken just saw your comment there, gentlemen. Hello. Just had cataract surgery and I'm seeing better than ever. And damn, y'all are ugly.
Yeah, agreed.
Were you watching us because we were attractive, dude?
Yeah, really?
Like, that's a really shallow reason. That's a shallow reason to watch a YouTube channel, Ken. Just saying.
Also, like, how is that, like, now my opinions are insulted because it's like a selling point is somehow my face, which is like, really?
Hey, man, really? I thought sex appeal was going to sell microphones anyways. They are rather phallic. I mean, when you look at them, it's just turn my phallic.
Lots of things. Even like, I mean, have you seen a TRS cable? It's like the most phallic thing in existence.
MKH 416 might not have girth, but it has the length, baby. Okay, moving on from all of this.
Budget ribbon mics.
Budget ribbon? Okay, random.
What do you consider budget ribbon? Because they were talking, somebody asked about...
ART is a budget ribbon mic.
But they're asking about good ones.
$600. What is the...
So that's what I'm saying. Like, a good budget ribbon would probably be the Royer R10. And again, for a ribbon mic, that is budget with $600.
Yep.
I mean, there are modifications you can make to cheaper ribbon mics to make them better. For example, the ART AR5, which is an active ribbon mic, and that's a lie because as anyone who knows ribbon mics aren't active. All they've done is put a shitty cloud lifter in it.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is. So that said, the actual element within the AR5 is good. So if you were to swap it out, like remove the internal activator circuitry and put a FET head on the end of it,
yeah,
you'd probably get phenomenally better results for like a moderate. And that mic is like what, $150?
And I didn't mind it. Like, it's not great.
I was gonna say, I forgot that I gave it to you for a while.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It wasn't horrible.
Noisy.
Yeah, it's extremely noisy.
Yeah,
but
that's because of the activator, and it is some cheap crap.
Yeah. Gear Junkie, when the goal is to make something as cheap as humanly possible, of course, QC is an issue. Look at the tubes prior to 3 years ago. For every 100 made, 30 were sold in stores, 20 were good, 5 were very good. Yeah. It's QC on a lot of stuff is suspect these days. Guitar Center won't stock Behringer because they're rep. I can see that. And shit myself laughing. Hilarious. Jesus Christ. I've never been to Guitar Center, by the way. We're Canadian. We got long in McQuaid, eh?
Long in McQuaid, bud.
How bad is Guitar? Have you ever been to Guitar Center, Dylan?
No.
Okay.
I've heard lots of horror stories about Guitar Center, but I personally have not.
Ken says, horrible handling noise and tons of resonance if you even fart within 10 feet of the ZDM1. Resonance I didn't test. To be fair, when I say the ZDM1 is decent, I didn't test the resonance. Like I said, I didn't review the microphone. Handling noises, it isn't a mic you should handle anyways. But that's fair. I mean, the mic's $100 it comes with a cable. It comes with all the bells and whistles. I can't imagine you're getting a great experience with that in a lot of the outside of the sound quality. Once again, though, buy a freaking SM58. If those are all your concerns, if your concerns are handling noises, resonance, and you're actually not even worried about the look of the freaking microphone, buy an SM58. All your problems are solved with the SM58. You don't have to worry about the pod mic. Don't have to worry about the ZDM1. you have a great microphone with great resale value. Daniel, the microphones are not good. I use AKG, and sure, I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's tough, right? Like, from a lot of the people that hammer me on the Behringer video are people that use a lot of their synths. And apparently Behringer does good work with their synths. I've never used a Behringer synth. I'm not a synth person. So I was angling at that video purely on the recording end of the spectrum for microphones and interfaces.
And also we're talking about the brand perception, which I'm sorry, most professionals hate Behringer. That's fact. I work with broadcast engineers, been in the business 40, 50 years. And when I sold them on getting X32s in their Eastern Canada production studio layout, they looked at me like I had three heads because they're like, Behringer, what the fuck? Because Behringer is not exactly known for mission critical.
No.
Right? That's the problem. So, yes, there are, again, the X32, I sold it to the rest of the team. It's a phenomenal board. Have I used it in large droves? No. Have I used it as a daily driver? No.
Just hope they don't break down in a week, eh?
But now the company that I work for has 13 of them across the country, or across this side of the country that they use every day, and they work fine. So
that's good.
I mean, it's mostly digital, so that helps. That helps the reliability.
Dan says that Ocean Way ribbon mic looked good. I've never heard of that. Apparently, it's heavy and very expensive.
I've heard of the company, or I've heard of I haven't looked into it myself or anything.
Daniel, ribbon mics are so much different from every other type of microphone. I wonder if that would be in Lewitt's wheelhouse.
That would be cool. I'd be into that.
Yeah. Like, try it. See what happens.
Yeah.
Steve says, I'll be traveling around Asian with my Icon mic. Ooh. That sounds like a lot of fun, just traveling around with a microphone. So I'm going to be better off with USB instead of XLR version? Yeah, probably. If you're... Depends on what you're recording. Do you need an Icon mic to actually record decent audio? No. You don't need to spend that amount of money. If you want an Icon mic and you want the look, you want the earthworks behind you, all of that stuff, sure. But there are a ton of USB microphones on the market that will do a decent job. Is the Icon a dynamic? I don't think it is.
I'm looking it up.
I think it's a dynamic. That will separate it from a lot of other microphones, and that does make it special if it is. But other than that, there are a ton of USB microphones on the market that you can go for that don't cost that much. And especially when you're traveling, it's going in your suitcase, and then it's ripped out, and you might go through a couple of them. That said, also, I don't know what your ability to get microphones in some Asian countries is. So, yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. Yeah. Do you know what it is? Is it?
I'm looking at the spec sheet now. Cardioid, small, diaphragm size. They don't tell me what the hell the diaphragm is.
Well, usually when it has size, it's condenser.
Yeah. Typically,
dynamic mics don't
dynamic
tell
mics,
you
we
this.
don't really tend to talk about voice coil diameter.
Gear Junkie, problem with Guitar Center is owned by Brian Capital. That's the issue. Sell anything profitable, not worried about quality. I think a lot of companies, I think, are like that right now.
It is a shit economy.
Like when I walk into Long and McQuaid and I see $49 guitars or those $12 ukuleles.
Whoa. $49.
Yeah, those starter guitars or starter packs where you see the electric guitar with the small amp starter packs.
Oh, dear God.
At Long and McQuaid,
I mean,
that's...
okay, people have to start somewhere, I guess. And, I'll put it this way. If you can, learn to shred on that and move up to a Gretsch or, a Rickenbacker or something, you're
you can't get a Sears guitar anymore, right? That used to be what you used to get when you were a kid. When I was a kid, I got a Sears guitar as my first guitar.
All of the knockoff. Squire's still in the game, but now people consider $100. That's crazy.
What does a Squire go for now?
I don't know. I remember when my first ever guitar of any kind was a Squire P bass, and
nice.
I still have it actually. It's over there. Still works barely, and I think it was $150 maybe.
Shrimp make sketty always. Problem with it? Are you still there, Dylan?
I'm here. You keep dropping out. I don't know if it's you or me or
no. It's OBS.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm watching. OBS is dropping.
but clean feed too, because you like I stop hearing you for like 2 seconds at a time, and then suddenly come back.
I might have to reboot my internet. Stay with us. Might have a couple drops. My apologies, kids. Behringer UMC interfaces are fine for home recording. Frank Triggs. They're noisy, and that's the one big problem I have with the Behringer UMC is they haven't caught up with the rest of the world. Everyone else right now is releasing interfaces with extremely low noise. Extremely low
and
noise.
even like similar, like some of them are at a similar price point too. So it's like Behringer, you don't have an excuse.
It's tough to sell a Behringer that's $20 less than something else that doesn't sound like white noise on a TV. And that's not shitting on Behringer. That's not shitting on a product. That's holding a company accountable for a product that is that needs to be better in today's our money.
And we've done that. It's it's not just Behringer. I mean, we've done that even in some cases with Shure. I mean, there's been some decisions that, like, again, the MV7. There's some of the stuff that they're doing there that's behind the curve, which is unusual for a company like Shure.
Liberty says icons are condenser. There you go. It's
I was gonna say, it said small diaphragm. So
Ken, I love seeing shit like this, Ken. To be fair, I bought a P4 because of your video, and I like the sound of the ZDM one with it. I bought it too. Decent sounding combo for the money. Yeah, I mean, and there's the thing. So here you have Zoom releasing a $250 interface that handles multi-tracking, 4 channels, individual controls per channel. You can record to an SD card. You record to a PC 2x2. There's so much in that. And then you look at something. But Behringer has a $90 interface. Yeah, but if it's $90 and it's so much worse, why would you buy it, right? Zoom knocked it out of the park with the P4. Like, absolutely. I know it's 44.1, but what are you recording that requires 48? Anyways.
Yeah, you gain stage properly.
Before we get into that again.
Is this do 24-bit?
No. It's 16-bit. Frank, cheap guitars today are a million times better than the cheap guitars from the 70s, 80s. Guaranteed.
Of course.
Machining has gotten so much better since then. Oh, especially with a lot of CNCs and all that.
All the automation technology has made like manufacturing good stuff really cheap.
Yep. And like I remember the first guitar I owned was called a Laro, Laro.
Oh, Laro.
It was an SG knockoff from Sears. Terrific. The action was about half an inch. And I'm talking like 12th fret, half an inch. It was ridiculously bad in every way. I actually got relatively good on it. When I bought my next guitar, which was an Ibanez.
Significant step up.
Something. Ibanez ES. Well, especially in the 90s. In the 90s, Ibanez was rocking. Joe Satriani had them humming in the 80s and 90s.
Even now, like, I'm still always impressed with the price point to value ratio of Ibanez. Like, there's not a company out there. Like, again, I bought an active bass that's Ibanez, and I've used it now on many things, and it sounds phenomenal, and it was $300.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like, Ibanez is... Well, they've kind of... I mean, since the 90s, my first Ibanez guitar was $350 new in the 90s, which is a lot of money in the 90s, but it's also not a lot of money in the 90s for a guitar. So
it's a guitar, right? Like, $1,000 would have been fair game.
I love this, Daniel. Before I forget to say it, when you do the supercardioid thing, it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know I don't know what I was smoking the first time I did that. But every YouTuber has like this
thing.
I don't know if it's a thing, but an alter ego. And like even Bandrew has an alter ego like that shows up once in a blue moon. And I don't know what I thought. When I hear supercardioid, I think of like the worst superhero ever.
Yeah.
And
you
I don't
made
know.
a bit out of it.
I'm glad you guys like it. I'm glad Supercardioid Man will be back for every Supercardioid mic. So
there we go.
What do you prefer, the AT2040 USB dynamic or a condenser mic from Yeti? Ooh, 2040 USB dynamic. I didn't know they actually had the 2040 as a USB dynamic. The 2040 I have is an XLR. 2040 is a pretty shitty mic. Really shitty microphone. I would actually go with the Yeti over it. Oh shit!
Wow.
Wow. If it's a USB, buy a Yeti. Just make sure it's on sale. I can't believe I said that.
Yeah, you need to make that into a short.
Oh, God.
And if you don't, I will.
It breaks my heart too, because Audio-Technica. See, and this is what I tell people: companies don't love you. They will try to sell you things that aren't worth the money. And the Audio-Technica,
that's called marketing.
Well, you look at the Tascam TM70, that crap microphone that they released. There's so many problems with it. Why would you ever buy that? Tascam should have never released that. And they released it because they're... And I completely dropped out again. There we are. Completely dropped out again.
Oh yeah, no, it happens like at least once every few minutes. Where like I'll be like trying to follow along and I just missed like half of what you said in a sentence. I'm like, oh,
damn it. Anyways, let's go back. Liberty Dude, the Behringer budget UMC was out when no one else was competing for the lowest budget market. Yeah, and you know what? Behringer cornered the market on that, but then they fell behind. Catch up. Like, release something new. Develop something new.
Yeah.
Will a cloud lifter or signal booster stop the hissing sound? Is there anything else that can minimize the type of disruption as Zoom P4? A lot of people complain that headphones, there's a difference between the hissing you hear on your microphone or on your gain staging and the hissing you hear in your headphones. P4 has a lot of gain. It's not a lot of perfectly clean gain. But the headphone out isn't clean either. So figure out what you're getting the hiss in. If it's in the microphone end of things, yeah, technically a cloud lifter will help, but not really all that much. It's got 70 dB of gain. If it's not clean enough for you or it's hissing, there's probably something wrong unless you're literally amping it up to the highest end it can be, which you shouldn't be doing with the P4.
No.
You shouldn't be using any more than 50 dB of gain off that thing. If you're using an SM7B with a $200 interface, that's kind of, you're going to have rough results with an SM7B on a P4. However, the hissing shouldn't be so bad that people are complaining. When I hooked up an SM7B to it, the hiss wasn't that bad. It's listenable still. Shrimp, one day I'm going to send you a Telefunken M81. It's the best mic I've ever owned, but had to sell it. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, that's always a heartbreaking moment as a gear owner.
Yeah. Note, when you drop out, you don't on live stream. You somehow just skip. That's awesome. Because of the delay. That
says to me right there it's going to be an internet issue.
Oh, no, I know it's internet. I just don't understand
why. Like why it is.
Yeah, like my internet's perfectly fine. I think I might have to reboot my PC. That might be part of the issue. But I'm noticing it going through OBS, so I don't know if it's OBS. Maybe OBS needs to be updated too. We missed a bunch. Sorry, guys. Marty Toon says thank you at Ken McCone and Dark Corner Studios. Ken, I found 50 dB work great on my SM58. Easy to boost and post if you need audio in from the preamps, especially on something like a Zoom P4. Record at neg 18 to neg 12, like at the max peaks, neg 18 to neg 12, and you will be perfectly fine with most microphones, even the SM7B. I had no problems driving that. Expect some post-production. That's all you can do.
Expect some post-production.
Well, there's a lot of people that are kind of going along with the whatever. Well, I can go a live stream with this. Well, unless you have onboard processing, your audio is going to sound pretty crappy and pretty thin. You don't have compression. That's why the IO24 is such a big deal, because it can handle all that stuff on board. So or
most of that stuff. I mean,
yeah, I think the IO24 knocked out the P4. Like from that perspective, if you want really high-end audio that sounds fantastic, just coming straight out of the mic and into a stream, the IO24 is a way to go. For podcasting,
like even that, like I'm pampered. I've always been like, I never don't like double negative. I always post-produce everything, pretty much.
Yes.
The only way that I'm able to do this stream is because I got a $2,000 active channel strip on the digital side that this is going through. The only reason that this is manageable without doing some kind of something through a DAW to make this work.
Marty Tune, what dynamic mics would you recommend at 150? You don't seem to like Audio Technica mics. Marty, the SM58.
I was like, I don't want to say it, but like
the SM58.
Like I can't not say it. Come on.
Oh, you know what? Monday's video is funny because I think we already talked about it. My brain is mush on Fridays. Yeah, but the video is dumb questions everyone asks me. And Marty, I'm not calling you out, buddy. One of the questions that I get.
I'm going to bring it up right after what you said, but
no,
I'm not
so
calling you out.
One of the questions that a lot of people will ask is, should I buy mic A or mic B? Hey, should I buy this mic or this mic?
On the stream, we get a lot of that. It's like, give me more information.
Well, not only that, I mean, if you're trying to find the perfect microphone for you, I don't know if an NT1 is the microphone for you. I haven't heard your voice. I don't know what you're doing with it. One guy goes, so I'm doing, what did he say? For podcasting, should I get a mixer or an interface? I don't know. Like
that's not a question.
Like, no, but that's the stuff. Like it's gotta. Anyways, if you're buying one dynamic microphone under $150, SM58 SEV7, they will destroy everyone else. They just won't look as cool on camera as a pod mic. I don't really think pod mics look all that great, anyways. No. Sorry, Rode. That's one of the few massive fan of.
Talking, or are you just okay? I was gonna say, are you not talking, or you just dropped out again?
Yeah, I'm dropping here and there. Sorry, buddy. Yeah. So is internet issues here?
We both are, because I'm going through you. So if you're dropping out, I'm with you. Like we're on
the
same
okay.
feed.
So we're dropping out. Fair enough. You're sailing on Boat Wolf here tonight.
Boat Wolf.
Dimebag says, I just pulled down my 58 and put up my NT2A. Nice choices. SM58 is really good on snares. SM58's good on everything. What do I think? Daniel says, what do I think about Antelope? Oh. I really liked Antelope Audio. The interface that I used, you hear a lot of great things about their products. You hear like high class, like their products are second to none. Their support sucks ass. So when I had the Antelope interface, and by the way, Daniel, you can go watch my review on the Antelope interface and the microphone. I had a problem, and they didn't answer my phone call. 3 times I think I called, and nothing. Finally got a hold of them. I kept pushing through because I didn't want to contact them who sent it to me, because of course this guy's doing a review for us. We're going to give him all the treatment. I was about to send it back when they finally answered the phone. That's not good. If you run into a problem, and Antelope, by the way, isn't plug and play. So there is setup required with Antelope. It's not aimed at people that haven't used routing software before. It's not aimed at people that haven't done a lot of that stuff. If you're planning on getting into Antelope, man, you're in for the long haul. Make sure you do
your research.
And don't get it right before something mission critical. So make sure you give yourself some time to get it perfectly set up before.
Their products are very reliable, but you need to know what you're doing.
Yes. That is a big deal. What was the thing you were about to bring up? You were bringing up a question? No? Okay.
I think I just said hi to Miss Ravioli.
Elton John is singing to a 58 while playing piano for you. Are you better than Sir Elton? Right? SM58 is such a good microphone. And it also makes it sound, when we talk about the SM58, is funny too, because that video we did, record everything with the SM58. When you look back on how foolish that is, considering Elton John sings into an SM58, of course it's going to be good.
I mean, again, 58's not an instrument microphone.
No,
that's not what it's for. So that was one of the big tests. I think the fact that we can make it sound good on shakers, on a mandolin, on a bass, on a guitar, like
Yeah.
That's unusual. That's not a thing that
we dropped out while you were talking there, but we got the gist. Don't worry. We got it all. Got a Sennheiser Mke E600 to start out with. It's going to be better to plug into my camera or mixer interface. Hopefully it doesn't sound like a Monday question. Sennheiser Mke E600 is a shotgun microphone. They're decent. Is it going to be better to plug it into camera or the mixer interface? Mixer interface always, unless you have a camera that has really good
on-camera audio.
Yeah, on-camera audio, and most cameras don't unless you're getting into the Canon C70 minimum. You're not going to have a decent.
I have to say, the converters on the camera are good. The preamps are shite because so the interface that I use, which is a Sennheiser Smart Rig Plus, which is like $100 interface of sorts. It's really a preamp that's designed for cameras and phones. I have that plugged in. Well, you got the audio that was in the music videos. It's actually okay, and that came right from that was embedded on the camera. So.
Yeah, and that's definitely something to look into, but I would always go interface and sync up afterwards.
If you can. I mean, it does save you time if you can find some way to do it with the camera. But
you know what?
You're relying on format too. If the camera's doing like lossy compression on the audio or some sketchy thing, like a point and shoot camera typically would do, then don't fuck with that.
It takes me 5 seconds in Premiere Pro to sync it up and go. Just done like that. I don't know why. Like, I wouldn't bother spending extra money.
I got to render out, and that's pain in the ass.
Fair enough.
Even though I have a 3060 Ti, it still takes forever.
I will just after this live ends. The 57 is good too. I hit sometimes and it survived. Yeah, the 57 you can hammer a nail like the 58.
Well, they're basically the same mic in many respects. Obviously, the head is less durable on the 57. It's plastic.
The president of the United States uses 57s. Yeah, they use.
But they also have the filter.
Yeah, they have the filter, and they have something else. I remember reading up on it, and it's actually one of the most common microphones at news conferences. It's a great all-around microphone.
It's very rugged. I mean, it's just so well designed that if you're moving out and about and setting up shop somewhere, then. Yeah.
The argument of a famous used is good. The same with Michael Jackson. We have to understand that they all sound just good, even in a Behringer. I just waited for it to come back. Don't mind me. If you're doing something with high gain, I wouldn't necessarily use a Behringer, but there's anything can be used to record anything, and it can sound good.
I would never use I would never use a Behringer to record an acoustic guitar. Acoustic guitars are one of the most common and also one of the quietest sources.
Yeah.
To record something with. I was surprised. Well, actually, I did do some. I did strip some noise out of the acoustic guitar that you said.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I could hear how crystal clear.
It wasn't bad. It was manageable. But I said, you know what? Just a little spit and polish, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to get that all the time.
Yeah.
The quality of mic you use is going to determine how much work you're doing in post. Also, the quality of interface as well. Sure. Yeah. You can sound great with any microphone, any interface, if you know what you're doing in post. 57s, because they have a group of mics that there are always a few of them. It's hard to follow up. I'd also consider the Beta 58A super cardio as the SM50 and SEV7. Yep. Yeah, SEV7X, I think it's called, is the SM57 equivalent.
That's so weird. I'm getting repeat comments because I saw Daniel post that comment up there, and it was in the queue of responses.
He might have actually.
Well, but Liberty Dude's comment also showed up again too here.
Weird.
Yeah, like this.
Maybe it's YouTube causing problems. That is actually very possible.
But Clean Feed is dropping out too, because I'm hearing you through Clean Feed. So
Clean Feed. So it is me. Never mind. I'll shut up.
Well, I don't know.
Is Clean Feed owned by Google? Okay. 600 into mixer interface into camera, and USB computer recording software makes syncing easy, and sometimes audio and video is good enough to skip syncing. That's true. The post is underrated a lot of times. Super Cardioid Man returns. I'm wondering how many of these are copy pasted comments from down below. Are there any good USB mics that tend to have 24-bit depth under $150 you recommend? Also, I don't necessarily need an additional interface. I have a Zoom P4. If you have a Zoom P4, that won't do you any good with the USB mic. What I will say is good USB mics under $150 I mean, it's funny enough, I just looked over, Samsung sent me a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I've got the Q9U, the Q2U, as well as their G-Track Pro, which is this big. It looks like a Yeti, but it's also like a hammer. Like, it's that heavy. It would make your suitcase overweight.
Yeah.
AKG Lyra I've liked. That was the one that I actually really did like.
The Lyra.
Yeah, outside of that, I'm not really the source for a lot of USB microphones.
That's not really our vertical too much.
Yeah, I'll do them. AKG sent me another USB microphone to test. I'm going to test it, but that's not my go-to for a lot of this stuff. Sorry, man. You know what? And I think I'm okay saying that now. I think I'm okay to say that's not our strong suit.
Yeah, we don't do that. Yeah.
And it's not elitism. Anybody that says,
yeah, it's not that we're too good for it. It's just that's not what the channel's about, really.
Yeah. So,
or at least we try to avoid the channel being about that. It's not our area of expertise.
Oh, Behringer. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. New to mics here, and it seems condenser mics sound better than dynamics. Not quite true. Even in untreated rooms, as long as you speak pretty close to them. Yes, you can use a condenser microphone in an untreated room, and it won't sound like complete shit. You'd be better off having something on the walls, even like a bookshelf. Clutter.
Dynamic mics, though, are better, usually, hands down, in an untreated room.
Yes. Dynamic mics don't necessarily not sound better than condenser mics either.
No, the thing, like, dynamic mics often have less detail than condenser mics do, which sometimes is good. For example, a detail that, Aiden and I have talked about ad nauseum is mouth clicks. That's detail. Condenser mics are really good at picking up mouth clicks. And dynamic mics, well, a lot of times it just kind of falls under the radar a little bit. So,
yeah, and you know what? It's interesting, too, because, oh, by the way, TechMed Rainer, thank you. Cheers, brother. That's going towards beer tonight.
Yeah.
Wow. Where were we with that? I just got completely
slam-basted.
Yeah, what did you just say?
I didn't say anything. I just said, yay, beer.
All right. Wow. Oh, condenser mics over dynamics. My God.
So, Aiden, what do you think of the Revelator?
I mean, for the USB microphone, no. Buy the Revelator IO24. If you want...
I had to troll a little bit because
okay.
It's the second time Dimebag Darren has mentioned the Revelator on the stream.
Well, no, but the Revelator IO24 versus the Revelator dynamic microphone are two very different things. They cost the same thing. Just buy the IO24.
In this case, we're talking about the mic, not.
Oh, it's not worth. No, it's not worth the price, and it's not
that's
better
kind of what
than
I was getting at.
Yeah, it's a dynamic. You have out of an interface like the compression, the EQ, and all that. Get the IO24 and plug an SM58 into it. It'll sound a billion times better than the Revelator Dynamic. Just saying. Yeah, sorry, I was completely blank out there.
It happens. It's the beer fog, as Liberty Dude says.
Yeah, AKG Lyra. Yes, I do like the AKG Lyra. I don't even see. Oh yeah, Ken said that. AKG Lyra. Hey, did you like the like button yet? Yeah, hit the like button, by the way, guys. It does help the stream.
I always forget, but somehow I did it. Like, it's like the first thing I did this time.
If I like it, it's kind of depressing. I cry a bit, so...
It's like when you like your own post on Facebook because nobody else liked it. I've never done that. For the record, I've never done that.
My favorite thing is when somebody has a negative thing to say, the first thing they'll do is they'll comment and instantly like it.
Like it, yep.
So I get these things on my phone while I'm taking a dump, right? I'm sorry. It's just, that's what happens.
That's what we do. That's what you do when you're taking a dump.
For me to respond, I'm usually doing something where I'm just scrolling my phone. Something will pop up. I'll click on it. And I'll see that it was liked immediately. And I know that it wasn't liked by somebody else. I don't have that many followers. Like, we're closing in on 9,000, but no, they're not liking that stuff right away. So yeah, that's one of my favorite things is when people like their own YouTube comments. How depressing. Oh, and the thing too, I don't necessarily want my mic super close to my mouth all the time. That is a bad idea with a condenser and a dynamic, buddy. Yeah. With condensers, you'll notice if you move away from a microphone, I'm actually in a relatively treated environment, so you're not going to notice as much of a roominess to me when I talk.
You're going to notice the direct to reflection ratio changes drastically.
Drastically, especially you gain up.
The volume of your voice doesn't change, ergo the volume of the reflections doesn't change, but your voice relative to the mic changes. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then you end up gaining up because your voice got a little less loud. Oh, let's gain up a bit. Oh, look, there's the room.
You don't want to be too close because proximity effect and plosives, but you also don't want to be too far because of reflections and also because, well, just a lot of your voice thins out and almost too much. Like you want that happy medium of like the 6-inch range.
Yeah, 5 to 6 inches is good. Some microphones will actually have on the thing, they'll tell you how far you should be from it. A hand span is the best way to look at it. Yep. So where your hand is, thumb to baby finger.
The other thing too, and this isn't so much a thing for voiceover, but for singers who tend to move around when they're singing, like physically, being closer to the mic means that there's like a more drastic change when you move. Whereas if you're back up here, the mic doesn't notice, so to speak.
M705 review. It came in very handy yesterday. Oh, damn it. And we're back.
Doing that. I'm going to start doing that now so you know.
Drop out.
Yeah.
Daniel said, many thanks for the guidance on fixing the buzzing sound on the Neumann BCM 705 review. It came in very handy yesterday when it happened on my BCM 705. I don't know what's going on at Neumann down there, but it had about a 50% failure rate at the radio station. The BCM 705.
Sennheiser.
Oh, Sennheiser. Yeah, they own Neumann.
Yeah. Sennheiser pretty much owns the world at this point. Like,
I don't know what they were doing, but 50% failure rate on those. And all of those, if you don't know what you're doing with a microphone, you're sending that back to Neumann or you're sending that to a repair center. They must be spending so much money on that. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. I can't, and that's not a cheap microphone, damn it. Nope. Okay, moving on. I have an IO24. Buy it if you already have microphones. Yeah. The further away from a bike, the thinner it gets. Liberty Dude, I do want to say something. Aiden gets beer fog. It's not beer fog. It's Friday fog.
It's fog.
On Fridays, because I wake up at 4 a.m. to go do a morning show, Fridays I'm shot out by this time. I try to nap Friday afternoon after the show, but doing a morning show engages you so much, like you put so much energy into doing it. By the time this stream is over, I collapse. Literally every time I finish this stream here, I go upstairs, I lay on the couch, and I almost fall asleep. Fridays are rough for me. And I'm not trying to make this serious because it's definitely not. I'm just a complete blithering idiot on Fridays.
Yeah.
If I drink beer on a Friday, I will be asleep in minutes. Funny joke. Can you help me explain to my friend why Beats headphones not really regarded as serious or good headphones for a podcast recording? Like and subscribe to these guys. Seriously, great guys. Marty, they're just boosted. They're actually decent headphones.
Beats headphones for listening sound amazing.
Yeah.
I had some when I was in high school, and they were the original Beats, like not the solos, but the full-fledged sons of bitches. They're not good for music because they color. And they're not good for anything critical because they color. But they color in a way that's good. That's the problem. Well, it's one of the reasons why for years, recording studios, the standard set of speakers that tracking engineers would use are Yamaha NS10s. They sound like ass. They were not made for studios. But if you make something sound good on NS10s or Oratones / Avitone, like Squawk boxes, they sound good on anything.
Yep.
That's kind of the whole point. So Beats, I have the same problem with focals or focals. I don't know, Aiden, if you've heard of focal.
Nope.
Or focal. They make monitors. They make other things too, but their big bread and butter is they make studio monitors. And for a while, I used.
Drop out.
They color.
We dropped out.
They color. No, I've heard you. I've heard you pretty consistently. I heard you doing whatever the hell you were just doing.
It showed a drop, and I couldn't hear you for the whole time.
Oh, I was just. I don't know if you've ever heard of the company Focal.
Yeah, that's where we dropped out. Okay, go ahead.
They make monitors. They make studio monitors. And they sound amazing, but I would use the Twin Sixes, which are a pair of the studio monitors that they would have, but they colored the sound. So if you check them on them, it sounds great as a main pair, but you've got to check them on a B pair, like some shitty, like NS10s or.
Well, and Marty, actually, the way I describe it is, let's say you were to mix something that had boosted bass already. What'll happen is in your mix, you're going to turn down the bass on that mix because you think that the bass is really high in your headphones. And then when you listen to it on a regular set of headphones, you're going to hear the bass completely bottomed out. So when you don't have something that's flat, you can't necessarily fix all of the frequencies properly. And I think they actually sound really nice, Beats headphones. And
yeah, I love them for listening.
But yeah,
not for doing something critical.
So when we talk about color, that's the biggest issue with it. So, they say 5 to 6 inches is the average. That's true, actually.
For several things.
I like telling people I'm just about average.
I'm just about average. Yeah.
Almost.
5 to 6 inches. Funny.
People's ears are so individual. Beats may sound completely different to him than they do to you. Don't fix your friends. Just love them. Smile and nod. Yeah, that's the other thing. We're recording a podcast. If you're not EQing the podcast, just let them wear Beats. I mean, that's the thing. If you're not EQing, because that's the only problem with colored headphones is EQ, compression, and all that. So if you're not...
I mean, honestly, like headphones for talent, use Beats. There's nothing wrong with using Beats for talent because they're not dealing with anything critical. They're just talking and they want to hear themselves. And if they're hearing themselves through Beats, they'll probably sound phenomenal.
Do they just want to look pretty, though?
Could be.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. All right. Dimebag Focals makes car speakers, too.
Are they good?
Focal.
I don't know.
Why would they call themselves Focal if it's focal? It's obviously focal.
I always said focal, and then I was at along in McQuaid once, and like 3 of the guys were like, oh, it's actually Focal.
Fuck off.
For years, I thought Presinus was the name of the company, and then
Presinus?
one of the reps in Montreal that I was talking to was, it's actually Presonus. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's a tough sell though, because if you go by the English language and the laws of the English language, I've never really put Presonus underneath the. Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know. I was quite young when I was corrected on that, but it was like it kind of irked me because I'm like, I'm
properly. And you don't tell them while you're pronouncing that wrong. You just say it. Oh, you're looking for focals. Okay, right this way. Instead of being a douchebag about it. I've mispronounced things too, and it's like, whatever, who cares?
Well, it's hard with company names because there's no precedent, right? I mean, and again, focal's a word. So you'd assume it's focal because it's a fucking word.
You had to be jerks. Are the Rode NTHs good for mixing? I'm becoming a Rode fanboy. The Rode NTH 100s are fantastic, except for the cable rub.
In the last 30 seconds, we lost 8 viewers.
Yeah, because they're sick of all the...
It was 20, and then as soon as we started talking about focal, it's just...
Oh, 12. Holy crap, eh?
I know, it dropped like friggin' crazy.
Wow. So
it might be the dropouts. It could be the dropouts.
Ken, the Rode NTH 100s are awesome, except for the cable. Now, before you buy them, give me a few, because I'm actually ordering in some of the Audio-Technica, I believe it was Liberty Dude or Midnight Wolf that... on our Discord server that told me that the Audio-Technica looks like it's a fit. If I can get a proper coiled cable that doesn't have that cable rub, the NTH 100s are going to be a fantastic purchase for that. The cable makes them not worth it right now. If cable rub bothers you. If it doesn't bother you, I have other questions, but
cable rub.
No, dude, you can all the way up to the end, the 1/4 inch, you can hear the rub on the cable. All the way to the 1/4 inch, it's a 2.6 meter cable. I'm checking the cable rub on the coiled cable that I have here, the Shure coiled cable. The coil rub or the cable rub goes away when you get to the coil.
Also, though, why are you touching the cable?
It rubs up against my leg and you hear it.
Oh. Oh, for the headphones. I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about the microphone cable.
No,
Like the
we're
XLR
talking
cable.
so I was sitting there.
Dropped out again. That's why I'm like,
Oh,
it's
okay.
a cable rub. I'm like, what are we talking about cable rub?
I was sitting there for the morning show, and I was like, what is that sound? What's that rustling sound? What the hell is that? And it was the cable touching my thigh because it's a straight cable, not coiled.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that? Anyways. Focal is French company. That's why it's pronounced like this. I live amongst the French. I know the struggles.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you literally do.
Using monitors with weak bass can lead to the adding of unneeded bass as well. Yeah, monitors.
Bass mixing is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, any musical mixing, somebody wants to fight me on this, you're more than welcome to, but mixing the low end of a mix is the hardest part and also the most important part of mixing a mix. Doing the high end is actually quite easy. Still requires some finesse and requires some knowledge of coloration.
You dropped out. Sorry, can you hear me? There you are.
Now I can.
Yeah. The people who mixed Injustice for All were wearing Beats. That's what I heard. Okay, so you don't get that joke, do you?
Nope.
It's notorious for not having any bass in it.
That explains it. Because I remember the Beats though. I would listen to like Eminem on Beats, and it was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Try the Telefunken TF51 Phoenix Matador Music. I don't think I've seen you here, buddy. Sorry, we're getting today's a little bit messed up. If I missed your comments, I apologize. Don't take it personally. Between the dropouts and all that crap, we're trying to get to everybody here.
Yeah. We're also at the hour mark.
Oh, we're at the hour mark. Okay. So let's make a call on this one. And
I think we've suffered through this long enough.
I'm gonna before next Friday. I'll reboot my router. I don't understand.
You should do like a speed test on Google just for shits.
Okay,
see
let's do it right now. And I'll do an Ookla.
Right. It's gonna probably cause a dropout because it's gonna take a ton of bandwidth.
Speed test by Ookla.
Test.
Go.
Ookla.
See if I'm. Am I dropping out? Have I dropped out yet?
Nope. You're still there. Drop out.
All right. So how much? What's your speed test? What do you get usually?
Like 300 megabits.
All right.
Mind you, I'm in the city.
I have 4
you
millisecond
kind of
ping. I'm actually getting low. It's 320.
What's your usual?
About 700.
Jesus.
What's your upload? What's your upload
like,
usually?
Like 10 maybe.
I have 305.
Right now I'm at 520. Nice.
Yep.
530, 534.
I'm at 288. So
For upload?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
okay, now I'm at 13 megabits.
Well, it's because I have the fiber optic right to my desk. Like literally fiber optic goes straight to my desk.
Yeah, but usually it's not usually fiber. The companies usually throttle uploading because it's not required. So they dedicate most of the duplex bandwidth to download because most people are just downloading.
Not in Quebec.
Apparently not.
Not in Quebec.
Or apparently not with Bell.
Well, Bell in Quebec. Bell in Quebec is different from Bell in Ontario.
Yeah.
I'm
not with Bell. I'm obviously with Red Team.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Do you guys believe you can get a real top tier audio interface for under 125? No, I do not. Top tier everything. So before we go, I'll tell you.
Yeah, top tier, like that's.
Yeah. So
I mean, you're talking up in like the $4,000 range here. Like.
Okay, for a second though, Marty Tunes complimented us and told people to like the stream. So I'm going to answer this question before we go. Marty, everything within price point under $1,000 is basically the same with
entry level
features. Yeah, so from zero, damn it. Okay. And we're back after that dropout.
And we're back.
So every interface between 0 to 200 is going to basically be the same with mildly different features mixed in. 2 to 500, basically the same deal. Same features, same quality, some different features kind of here and there. And then 500 and up was where you start to get a little bit more of a broadening of good, bad, or ugly. So yeah, there's there's
more of like a dichotomy in the range.
For example, the PreSonus IO24 is a decent interface, but the features kind of make it stand out. So that would be the only one that I would look at it and go, well, but it only works for you if you're a streamer. Like you shouldn't be putting the compression EQ and all that stuff if you're doing music, even though they market it as a music driven. Hey, it's for streamers. If you're not a streamer, it's not worth buying. So outside of that, everything basically falls in line depending on the amount of money you spend. So I really like the Arturia Mini Fuse 2. That's $100 and it works quite well. And it's decent gain, and it's relatively quiet. All right, before we drop out again, I love you all. Thank you. The one super chat, TechMed Rainer. I appreciate it. Have yourselves a great weekend, and we'll see you